digitalization and automation would cut around 4 million jobs.
4 million?
But would create between 5 and 6 million jobs.
So what is Industry 4.0? I keep hearing about this. What is it really, and what do people need to be prepared for to get into that market? I mean, workers, you know?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question, and I think you'll get 10 different answers if you ask 10 different people.
Really?
But essentially, it's the move towards digitalization and automation.
Doesn't it mean less jobs then? If jobs are automated.
Of course. So it means different jobs. Exactly.
Can we automate your job? There's no way you can automate your job.
Honestly,
right?
though, it's not been done. It has been, right. So like, I think there was a study in I think Harvard or Stanford, one of those big old school universities, right, where they actually tried to digitize the brain of a therapist, right. So like, for example, I do CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, and the wonderful thing about CBT is that it's very manualized. So like week 1 you do XYZ, week 2 you do ABC, and so on and so forth. So their idea was that if I compress that all into a computer, right, so based on the inputs that I get from the clients, will that work? Because it's basically repeating what I say anyway, right? And the study shows that it's about half. So it's like half the time it works, half the time it doesn't. So it's almost like it's chance, it's luck in a sense, right? Nowadays, there are a lot of efforts to try and digitize the work that we do, in the sense that online platforms, online therapy, chatbots, chat apps, and things like that, right? And as a company, we've done a bit of that as well. Like, people have approached us to try and be on their platforms and things like that, right? And honestly, what we find is that, for every 10 clients that we say, hey, we're on this app right now, do you want to come and join in and do therapy through the app, right? 7 say no, right? 3 will say yes because, okay, good, great, I'm traveling from, I don't know, Kajang or something like that, it's really far to get here. The other 7 say, if I can still see face to face, I think I still want to come. So I don't know whether it's a unique to my profession kind of thing, where there's just some energy about being in the same room, in the same space, and sharing the same air as the person, that it's curative in that sense. I don't know if it's that. I would love to find out, right? But a lot of people actually gravitate more towards face-to-face. So like, even in this COVID-19, and when we're telling clients, oh, you know what, you can come and see us online, and we got Zoom and Skype and whatnot, right? Half of them said, you know what, I'll wait till the COVID-19's over, right? I'd rather wait than do it something over a platform that I'm not comfortable with, or I don't want to do it in, and all that, right?
Are these clients in the same age group?
Yeah, so across the board. So we've got like, you think the younger ones would say, oh yeah, let's do a Zoom call, that's fine, right? But no, we've got like 20, 30-year-olds who say, you know what, I want to come in. And we have like the older generations, the 50, 60-year-olds who say, oh, it's great, I don't have to travel, I can spend more time with my grandkids, I'll give you a call. And it's so weird, right?
I think they've done similar things with lawyers, creating lawyer bots that have a higher success rate of getting clients out of traffic offences than real lawyers. But what's interesting about COVID-19 is that it's breaking barriers down between that human contact and doing things online. Right. So you're right. Previously, people just want a person, right? They just want to speak to a person. There's a lot of comfort in that. And moving to a new way of doing things is intimidating. So it's not that they don't want to use a bot or some online portal. It's that they've never done it before, and the process of doing something different is discomforting. But actually, during COVID-19, they've been forced to do it, and so they've broken that fear of doing it. So now, when COVID-19 is over, they're actually going to stay doing it the new way. It's not so relevant, but there's been I can't remember where I read it, but there's a massive increase in self-service tills in supermarkets. Normally, when you go to a supermarket, you see a few of them, and no one uses them. Right? They want to go to the person who will pack their bags and do everything. But now there's a massive surge in the contactless ways, and that's gonna it was essentially just breaking down barriers that people had, mental barriers that this is the way I've always done things, so this is the way I'm always going to do it. And now they've tried something different. And when COVID-19 and the pandemic is over, they're going to carry on doing things the new way. So certain things are going to change, and certain businesses are going to suffer, and other businesses are going to go down. I think it was a McKinsey report I read that estimated that in Malaysia, digitalization and automation would cut around 4 million jobs.
4 million?
But would create between 5 and 6 million jobs.
How is that?
So certain manual jobs obviously would be lost. but the jobs around the industry of digitalization and automation would increase at a faster rate than the jobs that were lost because of automation.
So obviously, like cashiers, right? Bank tellers, for the most part, I can't remember the last time I actually went to a bank and spoke to a teller right there, right? Everything's ATM, automated teller machines, automated. So these jobs will probably go because they're automated and people need to be retrained. Joel's job's probably going to be safe because people want to see him, and then he has a smooth voice. Probably hosts, announcers. I don't know. Possibly now they even have a new AI that could possibly replace us, right? Deepfake. So what jobs are safe? You know,
it's a good question. No, recruitment will be replaced. I think I've got another.
You are part of the problem in this case because that's what your company does.
Oh, exactly. I mean, we're not at the AI stage, but we're at the digitalization stage.
That's Google, yeah.
But eventually, I mean, I think I've got at least another 20 years left. But AI will replace recruiters. It's almost inevitable. So then you're right. What do these workers who are obsolete move to? And it's a very difficult question. It's not even about economy. It's about the human condition. When we suddenly reach a stage of technological advancement where there's no need for people to work, and what happens then? You have to change your complete economic outlook, and money has a different kind of value.
It's like the whole Star Trek thing, right? Isn't it? Right? You don't need money.
Just learn tech.
See, Star Trek is a very utopian, very nice way of looking at things where everything just kind of works. There's also, I don't know whether you remember Demolition Man, where there was like one layer of things where it worked really well. Sorry, there's like old person talking here, right? Elysium. All right, let's talk about Elysium, where there's an elitist section where everything was automated, things worked, and then people didn't have to work, things worked for them. But then there's also another layer where people still had to work and they were living in the slums. Are we heading towards that area?
I hope not.
Yeah. Because I'm too pretty to work in the slums, man.
Oh, I know exactly how you feel. But it's from a different mother.
He's right.
But yeah, it's certainly. I mean, you can't predict what's going to happen. I think there's so many variables, and it's easy to become scared by science fiction, and take that Terminator approach that AI is going to be bad for us. There's certainly no evidence that it will be, but we also don't know what it will create. You know, we don't know what we don't know, and that's the biggest problem, and that's the problem that's facing people that will be made obsolete. The problem isn't necessarily that they're going to be made obsolete. It's that they don't know that they're going to be made obsolete. So setting up think tanks and bodies and parts of the government that identifies professions and types of people that are at threat and work to be able to prepare them for what's coming next.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to prepare when you don't know what you
exactly. So we don't know what we don't know. How will we know? Well, I'm even confused by my own question. How will we know what we don't know? By failure, by doing things, try again, and then, you know?
I think that our younger generation has to be a bit more brave in terms of what we are paying attention to and how we're speaking out. We can't be scared anymore, I think, of a lot of things to kind of, say what's going on as what it is. I don't know, in Malaysia, I think there's already a disparity in status, right? There's always been. But we've also had the middle class, which is, we grew up, it's kind of safe.
Yeah.
But now I think, I could be wrong, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's getting bigger, that gap. So before that happens really bad, I think we need to just do something, especially the younger kids.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think you probably all saw the news that in certain wet markets, they're banning foreign workers, but also no Malaysians want to do the work.
Hey, the muscle guy took up the job. I follow him on Instagram, man. Yeah, he's been, I'm a very hetero guy, but I would go buy vegetables from that guy, man. Seriously.
There are a lot of NGIs, I think, and individuals in Malaysia that are helping people, which is great because we don't, I don't know if we're allowed to say this, but if the government's not doing anything, we have a lot of people on ground, I think.
So what should people be applying for? The young younger ones?
I think you can draw on therapy for this, right? A little bit. Obviously, I have one hammer, so I'm going to use that to hit everything, like, right now, therapy. So, like with therapy, for example, one of the main messages that we tell our clients is that, I don't want to have a situation where you come to me for every single problem that you have. It's not sustainable, right? If your car breaks down, you come see me. You break up, you come see me. You lose a job, you come see me. It doesn't make sense, right? And I tell all my clients that, I hope that through the sessions that we have, I prepare you enough that no matter what life throws at you, you're going to say, yep, sure, no problem, I'll move on in that sense. And I tell my clients as well, I hope I never have to see you again in the best possible way, right? And I think that maybe, like, just taking what John said and what Juanita said as well, taking it one step further. So instead of teaching them tangible, concrete skills that sometimes, right? I mean, obviously sometimes you do need to learn those skills, but teaching them something else, like resiliency, about adaptability, about saying, nothing is too...
Soft skills.
Yeah, soft skills, right? That kind of thing. Maybe if we do it that way, like the whole, teach a man a fish, give that kind of analogy, right? You teach them how to be adaptable and say, you know what, I'll do it just because I have to do it and I'm willing to learn. And if we can instill that in them, maybe that's a better approach instead of micromanaging. Production industry goes down. Okay, I'm going to do soft skills training, like not soft skills, right? Like IT training or business training, or whatever it is, right? So instead of doing that so specifically, like just doing a more all-encompassing kind of like, be more versatile, be more robust, be more open to different kind of opportunities and things like that. Maybe that might be one approach that we can look at it. It's more meta, I suppose, but
that's apparently a better managing style as well.
Yeah.
Outsourcing and
Right.
passing that on to your workers instead of micromanaging.
Right.
It's a more successful managing style, statistically.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Glad you liked it. Now, if you want to check out a full discussion on all our other episodes, click right here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.